in very simple terms, explain why the government should have this power that you are seeking to block the investment decisions of privately run super funds.
So superannuation funds should be run always in the best interest of members, not only just the best interest, but the best financial interest of members. And that's just one part of the reforms of the Your Future, Your Superannuation reforms that were announced in the budget last year, and the ones that Labor are now pushing back on. Now, this shouldn't be a surprise. I don't think that the Labor Party has ever seen a superannuation reform that they have agreed with. This is just the next problem that they have in a long string of objections to whatever it is that we're doing in superannuation, to reduce the number of duplicate accounts, to lower fees, to get rid of that tail of underperforming funds that people have been languishing in, and to ensure that trustees always have a laser-like focus on the best financial interests of their members first and foremost in their minds. These powers are reserve powers. They would only ever be used at the last. They're not done overnight. It's done with consultation, and they don't ban a specific investment of a fund. They ban a type of investment or a type of expenditure that all funds would potentially make. It's not unusual, to have these sorts of powers, these banning powers. In fact, with the Hayne Royal Commission, trustees are now banned from making payments, for instance, to employers to keep those employers putting their employees into a particular super fund. So this is not unusual. It's just the next objection that the Labor Party have had, in a long string of objections.
Yeah, Labor was smart all those years ago to develop a super scheme, a compulsory super scheme, because it's delivered rivers of gold into industry super funds, and there's not a board job going around that's not filled by a supporter of the Labor Party. Different rules than you'd find with ASX companies, of course. I can't see, though, on this measure, if it's all about the worker and ensuring that the workers' fund, their money in their fund, is based on good and sound investment decisions, how could they oppose it?
Well, they can't oppose it, and I think that's why they've picked this tiny little measure out of a much broader suite of reforms. Superannuation funds are trusts, which means, and of course trusts, they can't borrow, they can't raise money on the stock market. The only money that they can spend is your money, which is why that best financial interest imposition is so important, so that when trustees consider whether it be an investment or whether it be an expenditure or a sponsorship or a donation, they have to be able to demonstrate that they've got the best financial interest of their members in mind, because there's no money that they're spending that isn't your money.
You've got a colleague in the Senate, Andrew Bragg, who says that first-home buyers should be able to dip into their super to get a foot on the property market. Do you support that?
Well, I don't necessarily think that persistently, taking money out of super is the solution to every problem. In the same way that putting more and more money into super is not the answer to every problem either. Superannuation serves a particular purpose. It fills a behavioural economics void that prevents people being able to see into the future and save for their retirement. And it serves that purpose. But constantly putting more and more money into superannuation for that, it actually has a negative effect. Superannuation is supposed to be there to create a consumption smoothing throughout working life and retired life. And it works in conjunction, it's not just a standalone measure, but it works in conjunction with the age pension and also savings outside of superannuation to create that retirement income. That's what it's there for, to create a retirement income.
The problem for the policymakers down the hill in the public service, Jane Hume, is you worked in this financial services sector before coming into Parliament, and I'm sure they're not able to run rings around you as they have with others. Thank you for coming on. I know people at home are interested in superannuation. Appreciate your time.
It's great to be with you, Peter. Thank you very much.